got two.
Good evening,
Well, if you just sent me another one.
Hello.
everyone. How are you? Hello, Cynthia, Carrie, Carol, Thomas. How's everybody doing? Susan, how are you? Wednesday night. Hope you're all doing well. The cold has returned to Jersey again. Hello, Kathy. How are you? Melissa, Rosa, how's it going? Frank, how are you? Love your hair. John, really? I've just got it in a ponytail. It's still there. See? Got my Joe Dirt hat on. Sharon, how are you? Luann, how are you? Karen, how you doing? Karen, another Karen, how you doing? Susan. So, busy day today. Very busy day today.
Yes, happy February.
Yes, happy February. Hello, I'm out of Facebook jail. Congratulations, Cindy. I can honestly say that I've never been in Facebook jail. I don't know if I'm not posting the same thing that you guys are posting, but I've never been in Facebook jail. Hello, Eric. How are you? So, busy day today. I'll start backwards. Hello, Nora. Yesterday, we didn't do the investigation because things came up. Couldn't do it. I actually had a few people messaging me, asking me, if we were doing it, what time were we starting it, why we didn't do it. And that's why I posted the apology for not doing it, because I mentioned it. I meant to do it. And
life happened, unfortunately.
Yeah, stuff happens and just couldn't do it. So considering doing it tomorrow night instead at 7 p.m., thinking about it, going to the Baron. We've already gotten permission to go there. So thinking about doing that tomorrow at 7 p.m. Not 100% sure, so please don't hold my feet to the fire. But the plan is, as of right now, to do it tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. I do want to see if I can find out what's attached to those two objects and get rid of one if I need to. And you know the one I'm talking about? Creepy lady with the creepy face.
They might think you mean me.
The other creepy lady with the creepy face. Good thing it's close by. Yeah. Woodbridge is not far from us at all. So part of, being around for a while, and no, this is going to be in Woodbridge in the Barron Art Center. We're just going to, two of the objects that I have that I got weeks ago that I've been meeting and wanting to investigate, because when we go to the Creeper, I don't have to, but Donna's objects are there, so we investigate Donna's objects, and I don't want to bring my objects there and investigate them because it sort of defeats the purpose of going to the shop, and I would rather investigate Donna's items at the shop than bring my own there. So where am I? Sourpuss. Oh yeah, that's a good name for her too. Hey Laurel. So like I said, part of doing this for a long time, years and years and years, people know us, and people do reach out to us and they want us to come to different places and look at different places. And we actually have too many places to really fit into a year now of doing events and live streams and all that. So there's been a few, believe it or not, and you probably won't believe this, that I've had to turn down because it's just
there's not
enough weekends in the year to do. And one that we can't announce yet, we're working on a plan to go there and do something with them and develop something for October. But the one that we went to today, again, I can't talk about it yet because nothing is definite yet, but we were able to, and here's the cool thing about this. We had seen pictures of the building and they do not do it justice. Not just on the outside, but on the inside. Not even close to doing this building justice. Huge. Am I right? Huge building. 18,000 square feet.
This is a building I could get lost in. And I don't get lost.
The basement alone, you could never get out of. So we we were met there. And what was funny was every place we go that's new, I'll go around, I'll take pictures of, and I'll even take a video of the whole entire building just for later advertisements and stuff like that. TikTok, whatever, Instagram. And I'm out there doing it, and it was cold, and Chris is following me. And we get to a room where we think there's stuff going on there. And the woman opens up the door and she's like, "Can I help you with something?" And we go, "Well, we're just filming out here for now, but we have a meeting with somebody at this time." And she goes, Are you the paranormal people? It's so funny when they refer to you that way too. We're like, "Yeah, we are." "Oh, come on in." And literally, we don't even get to take our jackets off, and they're telling us stories about, "We got to take you here. We got to take you here. This thing happened on this floor."
They were so excited and passionate about the stories
we saw
they
an
share.
apparition in the basement. People have seen stuff. So we were like, okay, but we're waiting for somebody else who was supposed to meet us and take us on the tour. We know her. We know her. She's coming. We'll text her and tell her we're taking you right now. So we start on the tour. We don't get.
We don't even get out of the foyer.
We literally get like from where we started to the next room over. And we're talking about all of the things and the building and the history and the families and all this other stuff. And we're there. And then the other person joins us and she's talking about things that have happened. And we're just like, we're never going to get out of this, even though it was an awesome room, awesome looking room. We're like, we know how big the building is, and we're thinking we're never going to get out of here. Hey, Steve. So, hey, Susan. So we, before I continue on here, Chris is going to post the link as New Jersey Paranormal first time, believe it or not, up here. Oh, that's it. We have to end this because that is a sign of the apocalypse right there. The world is ending. So Chris posted the New Jersey Paranormal link right there on our page. As usual, if there's anything you guys want to talk about, any subjects you want to talk about, any discussion points, any experiences that you've had, click the link, come backstage as a guest. We'll bring you on to talk about them. In particular, when I post something, if it's a meme or a question or whatever, I read all of those comments. And I understand there are people that don't want to come on camera, but boy, people have the most interesting stories, even about being visited by loved ones after they passed. And all the memes that I post, I see all the people going back and forth in the stories about living in a haunted house. And I know these people are following us because they're posting in the comments. So if any of you who have those kind of experiences want to come on and discuss it with everybody here, we encourage you to do that. Again, it's a safe place. I feel like Dr. Phil this is a safe place.
Hi, Teresa.
Everybody here is part of the community. Nobody will judge you. People are just fascinated like we are about these types of discussions. So if you have any, come on in and we'll talk about it. Back to the building. So here we are in the first floor, and wow.
Let's put it this way.
Wow alone on the first floor.
5 people in a room, and there's so much talk and so much excitement and so much information that literally you just didn't know who to look to first for, because this one was saying something, this one was saying, and this one, and it was just like you were like doing a ping pong match trying to just keep up with everything that they were telling you. Knowing
all the activity and the stories, not just the stories that they heard, but the things that had happened to the people we were meeting with. They were thrilled to see us. They were like, "Oh my God, they're going to let you come in here. You guys are going to do an investigation. Everybody's talking about this. Everybody's talking about this." So we were just like, man, I wish I had some stuff in the car. and I didn't. So
you're right, Cindy. Hours and days to go
this building. This. Oh, it would be 2 nights of investigating at least. So, good evening, Dale. So we are making it through the first floor, and they keep talking about the third floor, right? Wait till you get to the third floor. Do you want to go right up to the third floor? We're like, let's start at the first, and let's. Oh, but tell me, wait.
And there's 5 floors.
So the first floor, awesome. The things that are on the first floor, awesome. This place, we can't share any of the family and the other
Yeah. Yep.
dynamics, but artifacts. I mean, so many things have existed in this building that would lead to potential activity from any one of the things, and yet there's circle three at least. So we were like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Everything original in the building, the wood, the fireplace, just beautiful, huge mansion. So we make it through the first floor, hearing all the stories. And now we go up to the second floor. On the way to the second floor, we didn't even make it to the second floor. There's a story about the stairwell and the one area at the top of the stairs where people have seen a woman standing there looking down, watching people clean. Great. Again, we're halfway through the tour, and there's been already talk about this one and that one. So no, not a private residence. No, we can't really say anything about it yet. But one, because we're still working out the details about coming in there. This isn't a place that anybody can just walk in and investigate. There's layers of approval, but they want us in there really bad because they know it's active. They all know it's active. And anyway, so we make it out to the second floor, and they're showing us all the different rooms and telling us the different things about the different rooms. And so now a door, what is that, fire door?
Yeah, fire door.
Heavy fire door that's on one of those, what do you call it? It's that automatically shut, you know? And this thing was heavy. And the woman said when she was in there with her kids, they heard screaming coming from that area where the fire doors are. And the kids, who weren't little kids, said they saw a hand,
a black gloved hand
around the door, and then it shut the door and slammed it, and the doors were open, and they're heavy doors that opened and it closed. That ain't happening with these doors because of wind or a vacuum thing. These doors were
these are fire doors that are made to seal to stop a fire from spreading. It's crazy.
So here we get through that floor now, the third floor. We're all excited about the third floor. Here we go up on the third floor. I ain't gonna lie. There was at least two areas prior to the third floor that we walked in, and you feel a difference.
Yeah, it was
and it was areas they pointed out where
it was
there was
uncomfortable,
activity.
Very uncomfortable.
Where
I actually didn't want to step in one of the rooms.
Was it on the first floor?
Yeah. Oh. She's like, "Do you want to go in?" I'm like, "Yeah, not really."
So, different feeling between we're walking through this huge first floor and then entering these three areas where they said people have seen things. You just felt it, like that. So here we are now to the third floor. You get up the stairwell. You enter the third floor right away.
Hi, Lewis.
Before they even murders, no. Before they even said a word to us, I said, boy, there is a heaviness on this floor.
Yeah.
That total pressure
it
changes as soon as you're there, and they go, excuse me, they said exactly everybody says about the heaviness on this floor. So then they, no, it's never been investigated by anyone. We would be the first team in there, which again would be a tremendous honor.
Very, very, very protective and very connected to the site, the people that take care of it. And they are, I mean, the fact that they even had us go through to even have this conversation with us is an honor. And even if that's all it comes and it doesn't become more, we were honored that they even took us along for this to begin with and shared what they shared.
Well, so then we go to this back room where people reported of seeing things and feeling the presence and a cold rush of air, and they don't like these two particular rooms that are in this whole long corridor. And again, right away, you're looking around going, God, we're on the third floor now. There's so much space. And I wish I could tell you about the one connection.
I have a funny feeling that this is going to be a place that you're going to be able to tell everybody
eventually.
I
But
really do.
I wish I could tell you this one thing that makes this so unique, this building, because it really adds such an element to this that you don't see in a lot of different places. But there is one part of the building that people claim to be uncomfortable being in, and it's related to death being in that part of the building. That's as far as I can go with describing what kind of death or how it occurred or anything like that. Not a murder, nothing like that, but just death. There was definitely death in this one corner area of the building, unfortunately. And you just, I get the feeling, and I told that to the people we were touring the facility with, we're going to spend some time in that area for sure, because unfortunately, documented deaths are there. They're there. I mean, this is where they happened. And I believe that we're going to get a lot of interaction and EVPs.
I think so too.
More so in that one area. And again, the woman who we were initially met with, who kind of said, come on in, you're the paranormal people. She said, I got to tell you. She said, I was in the basement. She goes, and the basement's huge. She goes, I was in the basement and I'm walking down there. I forget what she was doing. She said, I saw a man walking down there. She described him. She
even what he was wearing.
Sweater with a insignia on it.
Yep, and he had khaki shorts.
And khaki shorts on. And she said he walked down the little corridor there. And she said, and the way he walked, he could have never got out of the basement that way. He just
was a dead end
in one particular direction and disappeared.
Never came back out.
She went down there and she took a look because she was in the only way in and out. She looked, nobody there.
And only the workers can go down to where that area is. That's what was even crazier. And she kept asking, does anybody know did you guys see this guy? Who is this guy? And they're like, there was no guy there.
Yeah, this will be, again, we're working out the details to see if we're coming in, because an investigation would take at least 2 nights minimum.
Karen said, is this your first paranormal quote unquote series that's going to happen?
It'll be a minute. No, the Sterling Mine we did 3 times.
No, I meant series. I'm doing your like series, a series of like, okay, part 1, part 2, part 3 lives, because this place is so massive, series.
And we talked about the possibility of live streaming. And again, that's something permissions would have to be gotten for us to even get to that point. But hopefully that happens. But if it doesn't, we'll of course report back everything that happened and play you clips if we could, which I'm sure we could, as long as we don't stream everything. And then who knows where to go from there. So what a place. Amazing. We were looking forward to this. I was looking forward to this since I got the call from the location, and we emailed.
We can't disclose what the place is yet, Edward, until we get permission.
And then I looked at the pictures and I researched some of the history, and I didn't know about a big part of the history that we were told today. And like I said, the pictures alone made me go, and I showed them to Chris and I said, look at this place.
Yeah.
And she said, wow, that is a big building. And we pulled up and we're on the outside of it, and our mouth is open as it is. And we walked around the whole perimeter. Like I said, I did a video. And then when they were, are you the people? Come on in. And they were literally couldn't wait to tell us everything that was happening there.
Hi, Dana.
Hey, Dana. So, wow. I cannot wait to get in there, because I don't want to get my hopes up too much.
Oh, Joanne asked, are we going to bring psychic mediums in there? No, not to begin with. No.
There's, and I can't tell you how many places we've been in that they tell us people have been in the building that claim to be sensitive or psychic or mediums and say, you have a presence here. You have several. And again, that's all fine and great. Maybe they're legit. Maybe they're 100% accurate. Maybe they have that ability. But we were describing to them that there's none of that here. We
No,
don't
none
work
of
that
us are
way.
gifted.
Whatever we're going to show you, and hopefully they'll come out with us when we do it, and they get to see for themselves. But it's going to be what we could hear and what we could see and what we experience. That's it. It is in New Jersey. I will tell you that, Susan. It is in New Jersey. So we should know more tomorrow as far as the next step.
Just keep your fingers crossed, guys. Just keep your fingers crossed.
I mean, just getting in there would be. I'm so intrigued about what could be in that building just based on what we heard today, and as many places as we went. I would not investigate this building alone.
Can you see how excited he is?
I would not. I would not go around that building by myself, especially in certain areas there.
Yeah, not certain.
Mm-mm.
No.
It's too easy to get lost, and
I
would not want that.
No.
The very first time we investigated the Board of Education building in Woodbridge. Now, for those of you who don't know, I'll tell this story really, really quick. In Woodbridge in 1948, there was a major train wreck. It was the third worst in U.S. history up to that point. They used a lot of the existing buildings in that time as makeshift morgues and triage places. And the Board of Ed building was one of the buildings they used. They actually had bodies laid out in the basement.
Yeah.
Now, it used to be a school back then. That building, very, very, very haunted with people that were involved in that train crash. That building, the very first time we were in it, is another 4 or 5 story building with little nooks and crannies and hallways that go in all weird directions. We stayed together the first time investigating that building because even if you had to get something from the car and you were in one particular part of the building, you were like, wait a minute. Was that the right stairwell? Is that how we came up?
Not just that, but none of us liked being on the second floor.
No, not in that building. And
Second
this building
floor was
gave
horrifying.
me the same exact
scary.
vibes. I would hate to have a piece of equipment that I had to get somewhere and go back up to to collect my equipment up to that third floor or some of those other areas and be there by myself and be like.
We made the mistake once. We went up to the second floor and we took one of the rooms and we made it our destination room with all our equipment, and we did that one time and one time only. We learned after that night nobody wanted to go to that second floor by themselves to go get a piece of equipment, to go get a flashlight, to get whatever we needed for the night. So we all made it a pact that if anything happened and anyone had to go to the second floor again, we always went in pairs because we were terrified of it.
You feel it. You know it's there. Especially at night, you know it's there. And again, quick story about that building. One of the claims were that if you're in the men's room and you're at the urinal, that the stall would flush by itself sometimes. And it's not electric eye, it's not a sensor, it's one of these deals. And they shut off all the breakers for us, all the power, no power in the building whatsoever. I had to use the restroom. And there are street lights outside, so there is a little light in the restroom. And I'm at the urinal. And for those of you who don't know, men cannot just
stop.
We can't just cut it off mid, So I'm there and I'm doing my business and I'm thinking to myself, don't you do it. Don't you do it. And go next to you. And I said, and I'm, in a compromised position. So I'm like, what do I do? Do I have a trail out of that bathroom? And I'm trying to, and I heard the stall door start to move a little. I heard a little bit, and I wrapped it up quick as I could. I did not wash my hands, and I right out of there. Right.
And on the same floor, on the opposite side, well, actually, probably around the corner from the men's room, there's a women's bathroom, but the doors swing. They don't lock. You push into them like a public bathroom, and you just go in. I couldn't get out of the bathroom. The lights were all out and stuff. I went and used the bathroom. I could not get. I was terrified. I was hollering for somebody. I was like, somebody found. And finally, I think it was actually Tanya came down that hall and pushed the door open. Like, what are you doing? and I could not get out of that bathroom. And I will not use that bathroom again.
But that's all I could think about was, we're hearing the claims from the people that work there. We saw somebody here, we saw something there, and then the bathroom thing kind of stuck in my head. And I'm like, I'm usually pretty good. I usually don't have to go during an investigation, hardly ever. And wouldn't you know it?
I had
my big old extra large Dunkin' tea.
Do you know who that happened to too? Joe Chin.
Oh, did it?
Joe Chin was in there, and that happened to him.
I had my big old extra large Dunkin' tea, and about 2-3 hours into it, my side started hurting, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to do this. Took that long trek down the hallway, got to the very end, went in that room by myself, and I'm like, all right, you're not gonna do this to me, right? And literally waited until I was the point of no return where I couldn't do anything, and there it was. And you wonder who's there doing that. Is it someone just sitting there like, okay,
someone messing with you?
He's going. Thank God I wasn't in the actual stall. If I was, that would have been a mess. Literally, figuratively, everything. That would have been a whole different story.
What a place to be.
Yeah. So anyway, again, Chris will post the link for you guys to join us. Any subject that you want to talk about, it's right there in New Jersey Paranormal. You guys want to join us on the conversation? I do really encourage you guys. Some of those comments that I read about being visited by loved ones, Coke Zero, after they pass, a lot of people had comments about that. And I did read all of them. And some of them were really, endearing and just, again, I was reading them and I was touched by what I was reading because, again, I'm going through them and I'm thinking, boy, I would love to meet the person, see the person who's writing and hear it from them, what exactly they're talking about, their grandma, their brothers, their husbands, whoever. So if any of you are willing to come on, I think it would be great for everybody to share that with everyone here. And like I said, we'll let you say whatever you want to say, whatever you don't want to share, you don't have to share it. I did comment again. I'm trying to navigate the waters here between Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Yeah. I go back and forth with all that all day. That's what I do. I start one, boom, boom, try to get all three of them. And on TikTok, I did my little discussion on past lives again, how Erica Uberry and her son, who was reincarnated, and started thinking about that again. How, again, the thought of two souls occupying one living vessel for a while, and then one of them kind of works their way out. I started talking about that again because I do kind of, that really, 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 really does intrigue me to think that there's a movie. I love it. It's one of my favorite movies that I watched, bless you, HBO many, many moons ago. It's called Having to Wait. And the guy was a football player and he is riding his bike and he gets hit by a bus or something. And one of the angels take him before the actual accident happens. And it wasn't his time, though. He would have survived the crash, but his body had already been cremated. So they have to find him another body, in the meat. And so it's this great movie. I love Warren Beatty, right? Yeah, that's Warren Beatty. Warren Beatty's in it. And I'm thinking, again, that was, as a kid, I had no idea that sort of was
like a reincarnation,
past life type of thing. And now you think about it and you're just like, what if in the grand plan, however it works and whatever happens, what if there are times where either, the new soul and the old soul, are kind of
in the same space for a moment?
They got attached for whatever happened. They just, the plan didn't go accordingly. And who's ever up there working with their app, was like, oh crap, I sent two there by accident, you
Like
know?
traffic control.
Yeah, and then they kind of take one out. But I wonder again, for that little boy who is older now and kind of has I think here our past life experience, my roommate in college. For that little boy who now is at the point where he's a little bit older, and as he gets older and older and older, it'll become further and further away from, you know, being upfront and in the front of his brain to where he could, you know, recall details and all that. I think it'll become further and further away to where it's like watching an old video where he's watching it and kind of recalls. But I wonder what it was like for that boy if he really could express himself and have the knowledge of, say, an adult to really be able to document, you know, and record and, you know what I mean, and journal like exactly what was happening to him. You know what I mean? Because it's just a shame with a child. A child has, they're restricted as far as
they don't
their
have
knowledge
the same,
and because it was another child who was
being able
killed
to write things down
and reincarnated, there wasn't an adult involved in this whole.
Do you ever suffer from deja vu?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I do or if I don't. There are times where I think I've been somewhere before, and maybe it's just kind of sort of something similar to where I'd been, or I don't know if it's exactly. I don't know, but I'm going back to that point again. Is if that were an adult, hypothetically, where something like that could happen, and I don't think it ever could, but how fascinating would it be to again be able to say, wow, like if I like someone who doesn't know they have medium abilities,
right?
Wouldn't you feel like that maybe something like that's going on with you? Like, hey, I'm getting these weird visions and I'm hearing these things or people are showing me things. Like knowing what I know now, I might jump to the conclusion that, hey man,
these are past
did
lives.
someone drop something else in here overnight when I didn't notice? I think we have one soul and we could come back as many times as we want. One soul, several bodies experiencing different life. Again, Laura, maybe that's 100% true. I don't know if I believe that.
I have a hard time with, and this is just me personal. I know that people say that you die and you keep coming back until you learn a lesson or something. But yeah, for me, that's a kind of hard for me to comprehend with the different tragedies and things that have happened in my life and some of my family members, how that ties in. How does a child, you know, like you're born and then you die in childbirth, you know, like a child dies in childbirth. How is that like connected to,
or a child that gets cancer and dies at the age of 4 or 5 or 6.
A family member of mine, she's two and a half. She's fighting cancer right now. And before she was born, her unborn sister died in a car wreck, and the brother died, and there's so much tragedy on this. It's really hard for me to wrap my brain around. I used to believe in it, to be honest with you, but with all the things that have happened through, I have a really hard time understanding. Are we just regurgitating what somebody said to us? Or what someone has passed on to us by we say that, you know, hey, you keep coming back until you get it right. And then you have the afterlife reward. Or I just don't.
Well,
because if in that case, I think life would be getting better and that there would be more positives after how long human beings have been on this earth, instead of the continue on how we just keep repeating the same thing over and over. And you know, it just seems to be darker lately more than ever for me to buy into that concept. For me, if that were the case, we'd learn from those mistakes, and each time we come back, it would be a bit better. I guess that's my theory.
Another one of my favorite movies is called The Invention of Lying, and what's his name? Gervais. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but the whole movie is about a world where nobody can lie. Everybody tells the truth. They just blurt it out.
Hey,
call people ugly. They call people heavy. They call people whatever. And in this movie, Ricky Gervais invents lying. He figures that he's doing this thing, and it's almost like a magic power where he says things, and everybody believes him because everybody tells the truth.
Yeah.
Well, his mother in the movie is dying, and she keeps telling him, I'm afraid. And even the doctors are like, well, it's your time, you die, the lights go out, there is nothing. So because he could lie in his mind, he says, you're going to go to this place that's beautiful and wonderful, and everybody gets a mansion, and you see all the people you loved before. And she feels better, and she's crying, and the doctors all hear this, and because no one could lie, they take it as the truth, and they start telling people, and it becomes this whole big thing. And that kind of touches on what you just said. I don't want to get deep down the rabbit hole of religion and other things, but sometimes it is true when
We just
if something
regurgitate.
gets said enough and it's in the Holy Scripture or something like that, sometimes it does become our truth, and we kind of hang our hat on that and say this is what it is, when maybe it isn't, and maybe it is, maybe we don't know. But you have to be open to either side, that it is or isn't, but of course you could have just faith in that it is. I get that too, but I'm more the in-betweener, where if I get there when it's all said and done, and it's exactly like religion said or everybody ever told me, I'll be the first one to be like, holy crap, look at this. You mean all that time I'm questioning this and saying I didn't know, and there it is.
Hey, people say when you die and you're good, you get a mansion in the sky. I mean, that would be great, but
no, that movie, I love that movie because he specifically did it for his mom to feel better. And he becomes like a prophet, where he's actually writing out like the story of heaven and what happens after. And again, you can kind of see, is it possible that maybe a long time ago that's kind of the way things started? They had to invent reasons for why the sun was there and the ocean was there, and things were happening with weather, and you know what I mean. So I don't want to get too far down the rabbit hole, but that's the way my brain works, is that but I will say this, many years of doing this and being into this field, the flow chart used to be kind of one thing led to two things, led to a couple of other things. That is now way out here because I've seen too much and heard too much.
I think as we get older, our perspective changes a bit. We're questioning more than we ever did. We're not taking everything as blind.
I don't think it's that at all for me.
For me, it is.
You're older than me. So maybe
for
that's
me,
true.
I'll be very honest with you. When I was much younger, I looked exactly like this. I mean, for me, everything was black and white. There was no such thing as gray area. And maybe that was my survival.
No, there's a lot of gray.
That's how I think I survived. What I survived was black or gray. But now I don't see the world that way anymore. I have more questions and I question things more than I ever did. And again, we were brought up in the church until we got to a certain age, and then that just stopped. And I am not a religious person. I don't knock religion. I think it's a good thing to have, but religion wasn't supposed to be the end all of everything. It was supposed to be an add-on. Your true is in here and who you decide to be. It's kind of like when you send your kids to school to learn. They come home to learn and continue.
Religion is
everything.
Exactly.
It's
so you can't really say that.
It is for some, but I don't think it was supposed to be the end all of everything across the board. Meaning that religion is you go in like the way I was raised under the Catholic, the Roman Catholic.
I don't want to get deep down into
I know that, but you go in and you have your mind is just this is the way it is. There's nothing else. You cannot think anything different. You can't think for yourself. This is the rules. This is the way it is. This is what you must follow. That's what I'm saying about the whole thing. But I have a more open mindset, and that's why religion doesn't fit me, because I like to take everything in. I believe there are many roads that can lead to the same destination.
Hey, Lois. Yeah, I saw that movie too. That was a gut wrencher. That one.
Well,
I only watched that movie once. I couldn't watch it.
Oh yeah, that was a tough one.
But no, the questions become more as you.
I got a lot of questions
as you experience more. That comes with age, of course, but
and the experiences.
But that's what I mean. As you experience more.
But I'm just saying, like like we all have different types of
Sorry,
experiences.
talking.
No, I'm just saying some of us have different experiences than others. Some are get hit harder with some experiences more than others. And for me, I definitely have had in the last, I'd say 10 years, my world turned upside down, and I completely think differently than what I did before, which I never thought would be possible at all.
Interesting concept on the afterlife, possibly alternate timeline. Crystal, is it possible? Yes. The universe works. That's what gets me about. Again, I don't want to get into a religious discussion, but these people that sometimes are referred to as kooks, like Scientology and this other stuff.
Like cults?
No, I'm not saying cults. I'm talking about alternate versions of religion or life, not necessarily cults. I'm, is it that far fetched to believe that aliens may have come here and populated this planet with different species that they collected from, you know what I mean? It's not out of the realm of possibility. I don't know if that's what happened. I'm saying that, none of it's impossible is what I'm saying. Please, Bigfoot is another one. And people believe in Bigfoot. I know people that swear by Bigfoot and they say he's out there. He's in North Jersey. He's in wherever. He's Southwest, Pacific, whatever. And I don't know. That's a really, really tough one to get my brain behind, because I know there's like species in the rainforest and in the ocean that we don't. I'll be the first one to tell you. Godzilla is in the bottom of the ocean. I am telling you, we cannot get to the bottom of the ocean. If we ever got down there, we are seeing dinosaurs.
Is King Kong down there?
They are down there. I guarantee you, Godzilla's down there. But if you go to, like I said, bottom of the ocean, you go to different parts of the rainforest, you'll see species that you'll be like, what? Where did that come from? Where did that come from?
We're still discovering things.
So Bigfoot, is it possible that Bigfoot is out there, a species like that, and they're really good and they're more humanoid than they are any other form, ape-like or anything like that, and they do have way more intelligence, almost similar or as much as us? I guess it's possible, but I really do think somebody would have more than a grainy picture by now. Just call it on
with technology the way it is, and,
just call it
satellites, and
because those dudes are out there with, and again, I'm not knocking them,
Edward, I believe that wholeheartedly.
But they're out there with drones. They're out there with thermal imaging. They're out there with all that stuff. They would have.
Well, some have said that Bigfoot is an alien.
Well, that was in $6 Million Man. He actually fought Bigfoot. Lee Majors got his ass kicked by Bigfoot.
That's fiction.
I remember that. I was so upset by that. There are Bigfoot. No, because I have a fear of them. Okay. Again, is it possible? Yes. That's the whole purpose of the paranormal. When we talk about pseudoscience, none of this can be proven. Spirits can't be proven. I mean, I can tell you they can be, because I believe I found actual proof of something beyond life and the existence of spirits. But if I took that to other people, scientists and whatever, they may say what you got here is nothing, So, it is a pseudoscience. It can't be proven. Even if you see it with your eyes, that's the thing that kills me. There was this guy, we all know him, and he's a good guy, nice guy. He's a debunker. He's a skeptic. Everybody in the paranormal field knows him and lives in this area anyway. And he would try to debunk everything and anything you would tell him. And so he's a good guy. You can talk to him. You're not going to agree on everything. But I had said to him, you debunk everything. No, not Zach. Zach doesn't debunk. Zach's the opposite of that. So this guy, I told him, I said, look, you could, if you wanted to, in theory, pull apart every other thing that I've ever experienced in my life and seen in my life and rational and reason it out. But when I saw the full body apparition I saw for the first time, there's nobody anywhere that will take that away from me and tell me I didn't see it, because I saw that girl as plain as I see her next to me. And she was there. She appeared out of nowhere. She disappeared. And I was in shock the very first time I saw an apparition, because I did feel like I was doing the scratch off and I won $1 million, because I never thought that I would see that, because they are so rare. It is so rare to see an apparition. And when I looked up in that stairwell, I still remember where and when it happened. And she went, she was so surprised that I saw her. She didn't plan on me seeing her, because she was kind of hiding in a stairwell, like looking between the bars at Tanya and I talking. And I looked away from Tanya because something just caught my eye up above. And I looked up and she went, and I saw the legs run up the stairs.
Yeah.
And I opened my mouth and Tanya's like, you saw that, right? And I said, oh my God. And I took off up those steps. And the only way that girl, if it was a real physical girl, would have gotten out of that stairwell is to pull this big metal door that you cannot open without force.
It's a fire door.
And without going, and when you let it go, boom.
And all the other doors were locked upstairs.
No way she got out of there.
They were private studios. That's crazy. Edward asked, what is your must-have on doing investigation? We always say
Dunkin' Donuts tea.
A recorder.
Yeah,
that's a must-have.
If you tell me one thing I could have and do an investigation with, it'll always be a digital recorder. Always. Because that's at least some, unless of course, now there are buildings where they're even useless. We've been in buildings where the air conditioning is always on, or the heating unit's always on, or, things are natural noises that make it
just
impossible for EVPs. And it's such a shame, because
that's the most natural.
Yeah, we were talking to the people today and we were just like, now imagine all the things that you've seen in this building. And imagine if we're able to come through and get answers from people who that was that you saw or that you heard. Wouldn't that be something? They were like, I'm like, this is why we do what we do.
But definitely a recorder. I think everyone on the team would be the very first thing to say is a digital recorder. 100%.
Your cell phone has a recorder? Sure. I mean, I would rather have a recorder, to be honest with you. I saw an apparition of an old lady walking up the staircase in my boyfriend's house when I was a teenager. See, this is what I'm talking about. Who are you? Michelle Lawrence?
You should click on that link.
You should come on and talk about that, Michelle. Yeah. Because that's the stuff that I'm interested in. And that's why I tell you my stories, hoping that you'll share your stories as well, because I want people to know that, it's not just us. Just because we're in this field and we saw this stuff doesn't mean it's people aren't experiencing this stuff everywhere, even the people that are watching and commenting, because it happens. Shadow figures I've seen a number of, and I don't remember. You can see an apparition in a mirror too. I'm sure you can. I'm sure it looks just like you as well.
Smarty.
But I'm shy, but I saw it. Okay. No, again,
I actually do scrying, Dorothy. So I teach people how to do and see things through the mirror.
But shadow figures are scarier than apparitions, in my opinion, because you talk to different people, again, about what is the difference between a shadow figure and an apparition? Why is it that some spirits could muster enough energy to actually show themselves as they were, and yet others are shadows? I don't think that all shadow figures are evil, bad spirits. I just think that that's what that particular energy, that person is able to manifest into. Yes, come on. We're not going to force her.
She's shy.
We're not going to force anybody to come on here, because again, this is a community. We invite you to come on and do it if you want to. If you don't, and you just want to answer the questions in a post, I get that too. Not everybody wants to to be on camera and talking all the time, like Chris here. She just can't help herself. There's a place she really
And
wanted
he's
to
out?
investigate, but they won't let you.
Sure.
Lots of them. Lots of them, Mike. I
Yeah.
would say one in particular that I haven't been able to in all these years that I should have when you were able to do it. Eastern State would have been one that I would have really liked to have gotten into in Jersey or Philly, I should say.
Eric said,
one.
I'll share with you all. Well, then, come on, click on the link, Eric.
But
And
that's one Eastern State I would have liked to have gotten into, and of course there's lots of others that they won't let you into because some buildings, and I won't mention the name because they don't want to be known as paranormal anymore.
yeah,
But believe it or not, there are buildings that are active and have let groups in. And pardon my French.
Eric asked, what does he click on? You see New Jersey Paranormal, and you'll see there's a link. If you just click on that and just allow your...
Come on, Lois. Haircut, schmearcut. Look at this. I wear a hat all the time. What do you think that is? But what was I saying? There are locations that are active, and they did at one time let a paranormal group come in. And, you know, the problem with paranormal groups and people in this field, and not everyone, but some are just a-holes. Some want to break in after hours. Some want to, you know, vandalize. And it's just like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Just to get inside the place because it might be haunted. You're going to break into it. You're going to knock it down. You're going to break in a window or knock in a door or something. I mean, that's just, it's...
Yeah, you're taking away from everything.
I can't even, I'll swear if I say it, but doing that is the most disrespectful thing you could do. And just, you know, these places try to open up to the public. They try to be open to the idea of there being spirits around them in the building that they've seen and that they've heard. And yet, you know, somebody hears about it and people want to break in there or they want to vandalize. And it's just like, if you didn't do that, you know, maybe they would let you come in and explore. And
you want to explain this to Eric? I'm going to put the link on now. He doesn't know what the link is. So when you see New Jersey Paranormal, Eric, if you click on where it says New Jersey, it says HTTPS with the dots.
Yeah. Put it in your browser.
He's on, I think he's on
Do you have an Android or an iPhone? That's part of it too. If you have an iPhone, you have to hold it, copy it, open it up in Compass. Is that what it's called? What's that thing called? No.
Oh, it looks like a compass, but it's Sirius.
Called? It's not Sirius. It's... Now you got me forgetting what it's called.
Siri. No. What is it?
Safari.
Oh, Safari.
Siri.
See, Siri. I can't even speak English.
Safari. Oh! Thank you, Carol. Siri.
I can't do everything. Obviously.
Ain't that the truth?
Hey.
Safari, they're all correcting you. Yes,
I'm okay with it. Listen, I'm
used
to him correcting me, so I'm good with it.
If it's an iPhone, you hold that link, press copy, hit Safari down the bottom of your iPhone. If you have one that looks like a compass, you hit that, you paste that link, and it'll take you right in. Then you allow the use of your camera and your mic, and you'll be right.
And then John will let you in.
If it's an Android, you may have to copy and paste it in. It should let you in. But I know it's kind of difficult, but once you do it once, it's not hard to do. Who was that, by the way? I don't even know who we're.
Eric.
Lewis, come on, Lewis. You got to come in. We got a few minutes left here. We won't make fun of your hair.
After I have a nice haircut, Lois. Let's put a hat on.
So again, the plans are for tomorrow to probably go to the Barron Arts Center, 7:00. Again, don't hold my feet to the fire. Way over my head. Okay. But that's the plan. Don't hold my feet to the fire. If it happens, we'll be on at 7. If not, we'll be back on again Friday or whatever. We do have an event Saturday, sold out, William Robinson Museum. Sold out event at the Liberty Hall Museum at February 18th, March 4th. There is one space that opened up for the Sterling Hill Mine, one space and one space only. If there's one person that wants to come, one space available. Again, we don't have to sell that space. We could listed as a sellout, but if one person wants to come, they can. May 13th, Sterling Hill Mine with Cody, Satori, Dustin. So has some tickets available for the Ghost Hunt. Adam Berry's event is May 5th and 6th. So there's plenty of opportunities, and we're going to be releasing more dates soon. Holding your feet. I don't want to know about with a doll in the picture. It doesn't bother me.
So the picture don't bother the dang doll.
Really? It's the opposite for me, but I'm curious about both. And honestly, if the picture is what I think it is, I will definitely rid myself of it quickly because I don't like the vibes. And
we don't need no.
Maybe I'm just feeling something that isn't there, but I do believe that there's somebody there and she has a story to tell. And I don't think it's a good one, to be honest with you. But we'll all see together, right? Right. And what better place to do it than the Barron Art Center? The Barron, literally 10 minutes from where we live. So we could leave here at 6, get our Dunkin' Donuts, be there at 7, be done at 9, be home by 9:15. And that's it. And we're getting into events. Like I said, things are going to get a lot busier for us. Oh, and I want to mention again before we sign off here, Dalen Spratt, February 9th, Ghost Brothers here, 8 o'clock. I got to create the ad for that as well. But, and Dustin will be coming back on as well. Dustin Parry, I talked to him. We're going to schedule a date for him to come back on, discuss the event. We'll do another discussion, a roundtable where we talk about all this stuff with Dustin, and you guys could ask Dustin questions from Ghost Hunters, and that should be happening too within the next week or two, I imagine. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. Yep, hopefully we do. You'll know if we're on. If not, please don't send me messages saying where are you, because it just didn't happen, but we'll try.
We do have crazy lives, unfortunately.
Thanks for joining us. As usual, thank you for your support and your support of New Jersey Paranormal. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to go into these cool places, have people reaching out to us, sell out all these events that we do that people comment on our following. Believe it or not, they notice you guys. That's another thing I want to stress too. They notice you guys. They follow us. They see the live streams. They see how many people comment on our questions and our memes. They always comment on how great our following is. So thank you.
That means an awful lot. So you guys are all in everything, every step of the way with us. We take you along. So please be safe, please be well, and please remember to be kind. It is really, really important. It matters. It takes less to be kind than it does to be mean, believe it or not.
I don't believe it.
It's true.
All right, guys. Have a good night, everyone.